Professor Ken Ife is a development consultant and economist. He joins me now for this conversation on the appointment of Taiwo Oyedele. Thank you very much for giving us your time. Let's take your overall thoughts on this shift in appointment in this administration for the person of Oyedele.
Thank you for having me. Look, Oyedele has proved his mettle. He's a square peg in a square hole. And I'm delighted that he's taken on this job. And nobody could have been better prepared than him after working through 4 acts: the Nigerian Tax Act, the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, the Nigerian Revenue Act as well, the new revenue replacement of the IRS, FIRS, and then, of course, the joint board, the joint tax board. So all of that coming out in force this January, it needs to be implemented. So it's best to let him go ahead and give it. And in fact, when I met with him during the NEC meeting 2 weeks ago with all the governors, I told him that there's still an area that he has to look into, which is the Fiscal Responsibility Act, because that is what governs budget process and all that. And we were both on the same page. So I know that he's fully charged and he knows what he has to do, because that's where debt management crisis and all of that. And in fact, I'm really delighted that he's going to get this post, not least Mrs. Dr. Zoka, because she's also erudite. And I'm really glad she's going to national planning to clean up some of the challenges that we have there. She has a good experience on budgeting. Even there, she made her own presentation on why we need to also incorporate investment budgeting. So it is a very balanced. And the other thing is that these two are less political than the others. Let the others go and get involved in the politics of 2027 and let them take hold of this governance and sort it out.
With this new appointment, should we be worried that his job as a tax reform chairman would suffer setback? Or let's put it better, wouldn't his new appointment affect the implementation of the National Tax Policy and the Fiscal Responsibility Act?
No, this is the other way around. He's going into this position. What else is he going to do? He has done the act. The act is in force. All that he needs to do is to implement it. So he understands the ramifications of this act, and I've given you evidence. So he's the right guy to deliver this act. But what he also will do is that he's going to have Annual Finance Act 2027, 2028 to keep on smoothing the edges in this body of acts. So there will be more. There is even one that is waiting, which is the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007 that has been amended but are waiting passage. So he's going to sort all that out. So it's very, very important. And I don't think that failure will be an option with Professor Oyedele, because he understands he's right on the ball. I have no fear at all that he will deliver it. So that's what he needs. The instrument he needs is to continue to use the Finance Act to modify anything he wants to modify. So that's fine.
Okay, let's talk about how his appointment is reflecting on President Tinubu's economic priorities. Does it signal a shift in direction or Nigeria's fiscal policy direction?
No, I think he's moving from theory to practice. And then he's mindful of the weakness. Look at the chaos we had last year on budget and budget implementation. And I think now we are much more confident that they are going to be in safe and steady hands. And we are going to run away just because before they pass it, I'm sure they are going to tinker more with that budget and then sort out the other thing. Because FRC is being ignored. It needs to be empowered, because that's where all the fiscal law that governs public finance management is. So, and it hasn't been done. It's an uncompleted job, and he needs to deal with it. For example, some of the things there, that in 2008, 2007, when it was enacted, it was meant to be mandatory. But they said, no, let's do it optional. Let the states domesticate it. Only 25 states have domesticated it today. Then there are so many ratios that needs to be there. Only one ratio was allowed by those House of Rep. They only allowed a budget deficit to GDP ratio. But then there are many others, debt to GDP for state, for federal, for so many things that have not been done So there's so many, and then there's no punitive measure and the penalties that will compel compliance. So he knows all that, because I raised those things with him, and he knows that those are where the lacuna. Look at the way we are budgeting, and then look at the loans. The loans don't have any cost-benefit analysis to actually show that it is going to go to productive activity. And if you are borrowing money for non-productive activity, then it's a recipe for disaster. So he is aware. Both of them are aware of the real flashpoint of our fiscal mismanagement.
Professor Ife, you really have very good words to say about Taiwo Oyedele. We do wish him well in his appointment. Thank you very much for speaking with us.